John Gotti, known as the Teflon Don, rose to prominence in New York City's underworld where darkness and danger merged. His charisma and brutality were both captivating and controversial. Despite his invincibility, he faced the inexorable forces of justice in a world where loyalty was purchased and betrayals were paid in blood. Stay tuned until the end of this video with Crime Cast to get to know John Gotti, the Teflon Don, rise and fall. One name reigned supreme in the gloomy underbelly of the criminal underworld: John Gotti, a man whose life was a tangled tapestry of crime, charm and deception. From 1985 to 1992, Gotti ran his business in a flashy manner that was only equaled by his astonishing ability to elude justice. This mysterious person, known as the Dapper Don and the Teflon Don, inscribed his name in the annals of criminal history. Gotti's rise to fame began as a pawn on the streets in the squalid neighborhood of the South Bronx in 1940. However, he quickly converted into a knight on the criminal chessboard, making his move in the early 1960s by affiliating with the famed Gambino crime family. Gotti's promise began to shine through the convoluted tunnels of this criminal organization like a diamond in the rough. He rose through the ranks via sheer chutzpah, strategic foresight, and relentless drive. Gotti's ascension was cemented in 1985 when he masterminded the brazen death of Gambino leader Paul Castellano. This deliberate act of violence was the peak of his ambition, catapulting him to the forefront of the family's activities. Gotti took the reins and became the family's new godfather, delving headfirst into a world where power and peril went hand in hand. Gotti's rise was felt not just in the criminal underworld, but also in the halls of popular culture and mainstream media. His fashion choices, which included expensive suits and jewelry, served as a sparkling front for the darker underbelly of his actions. Gotti was not afraid of being in the spotlight. In fact, he delighted in it. He relished posing for the cameras, a bold display of confidence bordering on arrogance. But Gotti's public presence was much more than simply swagger and elegance. He strategically assumed the role of a modern-day Robin Hood, a protector of the oppressed and underprivileged. This meticulously crafted image won him favor with some elements of the community, changing him from an ordinary criminal into a mythological character. However, there were layers of intricacies behind the surface, as with everything in the realm of crime and justice. Gotti became a riddle for law enforcement authorities, both baffling and irritating. His ability to avoid the clutches of the authorities became legendary, earning him the moniker the Teflon Don. Despite being under constant monitoring, Gotti walked away from 3 distinct trials in the 1980s unhurt. The courtroom became his arena, a stage on which he danced through the complexities of the legal system, surprising both onlookers and rivals. However, Gotti's enchanted existence came to an end in 1990. The law tightened its grip on him, resulting in an indictment charging him with racketeering and murder. This time, the fates rolled a different die. Gotti, the maestro of evasion, became entangled in the very web he had so deftly traversed. The Teflon coating had worn away, and the barriers of justice were closing in on him. Gotti's reputation was eternally etched into the annals of criminal history once he was convicted and sentenced to life in jail without the possibility of release. His death in 2002 in the frigid confines of a jail cell marked the end of his dramatic journey. Despite his death, Gotti's legacy lives on through the echoes of criminal legend. His command of the Gambino criminal organization, his daring escapades, and his enticing ability to elude prosecution assure his place as a cautionary story, as well as a riveting legend. Finally, John Gotti's life exemplifies the dichotomy of human nature, a complicated interplay of light and shade, charm and cruelty, boldness and disaster. His narrative serves as a reminder that even the most sophisticated webs cannot last forever against the relentless march of justice. As a result, the Dapper Don and the Teflon Don live on as emblems of a man who danced with risks, courted controversy, and left an indelible stamp on the fabric of history. John Gotti, the Teflon Don, was a complex and enigmatic figure in organized crime. His rise to power was marked by cunning and charisma, but his empire expanded and his reputation grew. His fall from grace serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating the inexorable reach of the law and the fragility of power built on the wrong side of morality. His legacy remains a paradox, symbolizing both audacious success and grievous misconduct. Gotti's story reminds us that even the most formidable figures are not immune to the consequences of their choices. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please remember to show your support by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to the Crime Cast.